I'm the dude. So that's what you call me.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, not since I was 10.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Come on to the coast. We get together, have a few laughs.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Can I return it if it doesn't fit?
It always fits. Eventually.
Welcome back to Movie Mingle. I'm Caveman.
And I'm Maggie.
And today we are on episode... It's 23, because we only have 2 more after this.
Yeah, we do. That
a live action followed by an animated, and that's it.
Wow, it's 25 weeks went by really fast. Really fast.
When you're having a good time.
3 times as fast as last time. Oh my God.
Well, yeah. Season 1 was... You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Is like old school television that gets like a shit ton of episodes in their first run.
Yeah.
Like, here's 25 episodes for your first season. And then season 2 is like
here's 12 episodes. Yeah.
You got cut.
There was a writer's strike, so now you get 12 episodes, and then you get canceled. Casino.
We watched Casino. It was Maggie's first time. It was
was it?
umpteenth
Jesus.
time. I don't know how many times I've seen Casino, but it was. Now I get to add another one to that list.
If I could have had the chance to watch this movie again before we recorded, I would have taken it. I really would have liked to have let this movie sink in and settle into my heart and soul before sitting here in front of this microphone. But here we are. Let's talk about this.
Here we are.
This movie and what it did to me.
This is how we do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We watch it once and then talk about it.
And run with it.
First impressions. Casino was directed by Martin Scorsese back in 1995. Martin Scorsese, this is our, I think, 5th?
As far as I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done.
I went through the list.
5,
and I was just
yes.
like I went through his whole filmography the other night and was like, 1, 2,
3, 5.
3.
1, 2, 5, 3.
First of all, Martin Scorsese nominated for an Oscar 16 times.
Mm-hmm.
Won for directing The Departed, which Maggie has issues with.
Choices.
Actually, did you know that right now, of the 5 movies we've watched, Taxi Driver and The Departed have the highest rating that we've covered. Like, when I take the 5 sources and get the average, of the averages, Taxi Driver and The Departed are the highest.
What was it about The Departed that other people liked that I didn't see? What was it about that movie? I watched that movie. That movie happened to my face.
I think it's still...
And I still sat here and went, what the fuck is this?
I know
what are we watching?
Everybody can go back to our Departed episode and listen to...
So many questions.
The things that we talked about.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the movie.
I mean, I don't even actually remember much. What I was going to do today was I was going to sit down and I was going to pull up the, 4 previous films and be like, all right, where did I rank these? Because a lot of this stuff is off the hip and you don't really remember it once you're done with it. That's the fun part about podcasts is I will have no memory of this conversation until I listen to it again in about 4 weeks.
Well, I already know that you didn't like Taxi Driver and you didn't like The Departed.
No, I didn't really. Well, but here's the thing.
But I know you
dislike Taxi Driver. I think I was surprised by Taxi Driver, and there were a lot of themes of Taxi Driver that I didn't like, that I bumped up against, with the child prostitution and Scorsese having a cameo just to drop the N-word a whole bunch.
It is odd that his only cameo was there just to drop the N-word
a bunch. And I know that somebody else was supposed to do it, and they couldn't, and Scorsese stepped in to take care of it, but still, Tarantino much. As I sit here right now, before this movie, I would probably say, because the other 2 films were
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. Ooh.
Which
choices? That's a fucking film of choices. I would.
But you and I still enjoyed Shutter Island.
I don't think you remember the Shutter Island episode, because I remember being like, oh yeah, we saw this in the theater. It was fun, and came out of this my second viewing of it. Like, what the fuck was that? I hated it. So
no, I remember we talked about it, and the first time you and I saw Shutter Island, it was just like,
okay.
But for the podcast, we watched it again.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this. The fact, once you know
The secret.
the
of Shutter Island.
the twist,
Yeah. What a twist.
and you rewatch it again.
Yeah.
It's a much better film.
Yes.
Watching it twice, and that
It was still a
that
film
snowballed
of
our whole thing
choices,
about.
though.
Well, of course, and that's Scorsese. He makes choices.
Choices.
Some
Which
of
is
them
funny.
work very well, and some of them don't. I think a lot of his choices in Casino, a lot of them worked, but then there were plenty that they also didn't, and there were also reasons why those didn't work in the end
So,
because of certain things that happened on set. And
two quick
blah, blah,
points.
Blah, blah, blah.
First of all, I would say that Casino is probably my second favorite Scorsese film of the 5 that we've watched. So, spoiler alert, guys, I fucking loved this movie. I had never seen it before, or I have seen bits and pieces of it throughout the years as a pop culturalist, as one does. You know, things pop up and you go, oh, yeah, all right. I enjoyed this one second most of all. I'd probably say that I'd have to go back and listen to my ratings, but in my heart right now, I feel like third would have been Taxi Driver, fourth The Departed, fifth Shutter Island, or maybe fourth Shutter Island, fifth The Departed. Those two I really...
We all make choices. But that was a choice.
So Scorsese's films are always a choice, but I feel like this one, it was less about the choices that he made as a director and more about the choices that the characters make and how much they fuck them up constantly. So this is still a film of choices, but it's all on Robert De Niro and fucking Joe Pesci and Sharon Stone's shoulders as opposed to be on Scorsese. Like, I wasn't thinking about I was utterly impressed by this film and the cinematography. I can't wait to talk about that. And so, yeah, I was utterly impressed by the way this film is made, so much so that I wasn't paying attention to the filmmaking of it. I was paying attention to these characters and how fucked up they all are. So, yeah, it's a movie of choices, but in this case, not Scorsese's.
Well, Taxi Driver and The Departed are at the top for our averages,
I don't get it, but okay.
and they're equal. They tied for first place.
What am I not seeing?
Casino
Yeah.
was falls at number 2.
God, it's such a good movie.
And I'm actually surprised because people typically talk better about Wolf of Wall Street than they do Casino. Wolf of Wall Street comes in at third, and then followed by Shutter Island. I really, really love Wolf of Wall Street.
I love Wolf of Wall Street.
Also like Casino, and I think I like Casino more. Even though Wolf of Wall Street and Casino are very similar,
They are,
kind
yeah.
of rise to the pinnacle of riches and fame.
As much as they could get before it all comes crashing down around them.
Right.
And then somehow they go on to be live kind of nice lives
To not they end up being like all right, like
he's all right in the
maybe
end.
not where they were at one time, but
but
still doing okay.
alive,
Sure,
dead in a ditch in a cornfield.
or in prison
Yeah, you know,
for the rest of their lives. Like
it is funny how similar the endings are, where you're just like, he got away with it. Oh, wild.
yeah, had to pay minimal amount of.
Yeah, a little bit of fines, a little bit of tax, a little bit of prison time.
I mean,
but
to be fair, his character in Casino really tries his best to always keep things
he keeps
legal.
His hands clean.
He warns people all the time that they are getting their hands dirty and they need to stop it.
Yeah, well, go wash your hands.
Like, this is the best gig any of us could dream for.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And it's so easy, and everything, like the way they were doing things was perfect, and they were right. Don't make waves.
Yeah.
Because it's going to put a magnifying glass on us, and people could easily figure out what we're doing.
And the funniest part about this movie, too, is that ultimately the people that make the waves that turn into the fucking, who drop a rock in the ocean that creates a ripple that becomes a tidal wave, aren't even they're not even close to main characters. They're just random people who got a little greedy, a little stupid, and a little full of themselves. Right. And they unknowingly brought down this empire of criminal activity just for really silly reasons. And I love that is like the fact that it is all down to one bitchy Karen, who, she got hers, but one bitchy Karen caused a whole lot of trouble just by being like, I want my money now. I'm going to sue you. Like, one choice derailed so many people.
So many. Casino was originally a book written by Nicholas Pileggi, It was Casino
barely.
Love and Honor in
It
Las
was-
Vegas is what it was called.
Barely a book. In that it came out a month before this movie.
They wrote the book / script together.
Yes. The whole concept was
almost immediately after Goodfellas was done filming.
Yeah.
They were already on to the next writing, at least starting to write the project.
Yeah, but when the project came to them, when the idea of this story came to them, it wasn't a book yet. The writer
Right.
was still working on it.
No, that's
so
what
yeah,
I mean. Like Scorsese,
Scorsese tried so hard to get that book to come out after the movie.
right.
Because it was 1 month,
1 month.
and he wanted to be first.
He wanted to first and kind of like no spoilers.
Yeah, a
for
little
my
bit.
movie.
Yeah, no spoilers, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, how many
I'm
people
a firm
picked up the
believer that a
book?
book should always come out before the movie.
But how many people picked up that book and went, "Well, I'm not going to watch the movie now." Like nobody who was that into it was like, "Ah, damn." Or maybe they bought the book and waited. I don't know. I feel like these days people would have waited, but who's to say? Like, who was that diehard Casino Mafia fanboy out there that was like, "I can't wait for this book to come out"?
Well, there was a few. Of course there was. Pileggi got the idea from a 1980 report from the Las Vegas Sun about a domestic argument between Frankie Lefty Rosenthal, obviously the casino guy, and his wife, Jerry McGee, a former topless dancer. Yeah, that's all it took to start this wonderful movie.
A little pebble in the ocean, a little ripple in the ocean that becomes a tidal wave.
I love 1970s Vegas.
I know. What is it about 1960s, 1970s
It's exactly
Vegas?
this. It's casino. It's the original Ocean's 11. It's just that idea that anybody could just walk into a city, have a chance.
Yeah.
But also, but it wasn't just that, because there were casinos and gambling before Vegas came out.
What
Vegas
is it
is like
about
almost
Vegas?
like Vegas is like Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's just that specific, especially now.
Well, I was gonna say like back
then,
it really was a single city in the middle of a fucking desert.
Yeah.
Now
and they had shows. There were that's the other thing. Have always been shows and entertainment and prostitution and
the thing about Vegas, especially back then too, is that it really was an oasis in the middle of the desert. This sparkling jewel oasis in the middle of the fucking, southern Mojave Desert. So I think in the beginning too, there was all that possibility. There was all that unknown. There was, that shot where it shows Vegas at night surrounded by that black desert. You and I know what that black desert looks like. It's scary. And the ghosts that are out in that fucking desert.
Especially because it doesn't take long to get out of it. It doesn't take long before you're just in pitch black, darkness, other cars driving around you. But, you take one wrong turn.
Drive home through the hills that have eyes. Oh, my God. We love Vegas because, you're right. It's that hope of winning, right? It's that hope of being that one lucky schmuck that goes in and beats the odds at the casino, although they can't be beaten. They just can't be.
But that doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter because people have done it. But it's
people
also,
have beaten the house before, and they're like, I'm going to beat the house too.
But also, we know that the mob is a part of it. When we went to we spent our honeymoon at the Flamingo in Vegas, because where we grew up and got married in California, it was kind of the place to go. Like, it wasn't that long away, so we went to Vegas. I remember walking through the first floor of the Flamingo and finding this tiny little area that was dedicated to the Flamingo's mob history. It's always been the mob and Vegas, right?
It's glorified.
It's so
there.
Yeah, it's just such a glittering thing.
It's a rich history of
really great stories. And I wrote down how I would never want to exist in a mobster's world, right? Like, being a part of the mob in no way fascinates me and makes me go, I want to do that. Like, no thank you. But I'm so glad the stories exist, because the stories are insane. It's always corruption, it's always betrayal, it's always, that dumb broad. It's always just so many incredible things.
Can't wait for you to watch Godfather 2.
And so I like mob stories in Vegas, 60s Vegas, is just another fantasy era that felt attainable if, maybe we had been born a little bit younger. But I'm glad I also never went there then.
Plus,
I don't even like going to Vegas now. I go to Vegas and
I think
I go,
it's also
"Ew."
romanticized because of movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Leaving Las Vegas, Fear
Never
and
seen
Loathing in Las Vegas.
Ugh. That's
Don't say ugh.
no, well, a little bit. I don't know. I feel
Didn't
like
Con Air end in Vegas?
Con Air did it in Vegas.
See? Then you got Oceans 11, 12, 13, 8.
The newer Oceans films were so much fun. Oceans 11, the newer one, is so much fun. But, they make a good point at the end of Casino is that like the Vegas that 60s, 70s mob run Vegas is gone and has been replaced by Disneyland for adults and old people.
It's family friendly. They've talked about for decades now that Vegas is family friendly.
But it really isn't, because I wouldn't take my children there for any reason.
I really wouldn't want to take my kids there.
No.
Either. Like you and I think just because we grew up so close to it, and we made dozens of trips there.
Yeah.
It's still that skeezy, grimy.
I know. Once you get there, you're like, ew. Everything smells of stale cigarettes. And
it's
sadness.
the things the films don't show you.
Oh, this fucking
Let's talk about the
soundtrack.
soundtrack real fast.
Fucking soundtrack. How many times did they play the Rolling Stones? There were a couple needle drops that I was like, oh, fucking House of the Rising Sun. Like, give me a goddamn break. But that's just because it's been used too many times in stories, This soundtrack was phenomenal.
Like Louis Prima and Dean Martin, of course. I mean,
absolutely.
It's got to be their Vegas voices. Yeah. Those are Vegas singers, so you got to throw some of that in there. But then you got things like from Muddy Waters and Otis Redding, Rolling Stones. I'm talking about the bands because there's no composer, there's no score. Yeah. This is
Ludwig did not do this.
No, this is a soundtrack score.
Yeah,
and we call them needle drops, and some of them kind of are, but unlike things like Suicide Squad, the original one, where it's just like every new scene or new character has their own loud
blaring,
just like here's a new song,
and the songs don't necessarily go with each other, or like in Cruella de Vil,
or fit anything. It's just like here's a fun song for this action.
That was
moment.
My biggest issue with Cruella, the Cruella de Vil live action film with Emma Stone. It was literally every single scene was a new needle drop, and none of them made any goddamn sense. They're just like, oh, we need a mod song from 60s London. Oh, that'll do, even though it doesn't work with the scene at all. I really appreciated about their use of songs here is that they were rarely loud. They were always in the background, like just low enough in the background that A, you could hear the dialogue, which is very important, and B, it felt like ambient noise, right? Like it felt like that the music was happening in the scene regardless, like anyway.
It was just in the background, like whether it was playing on like a radio or just
or speaker or whatever. And I liked that.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
It wasn't just blaring loud, introducing a new character or something. Especially the way they use narration and the narrators, the way they're telling the story.
God, the narration's fun. The narration's so much fun.
It's fun, and it's also from two unreliable sources.
Yes.
Yeah, the unreliable narrator.
The narration at the end, Joe Pesci's like final lines of narration are the way that happens. I don't want to spoil it for folks, by the way. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, this is the exact plot of Casino. Blah, blah, blah. You should go watch it. Yes, it's 3 hours long. It's so long. But it's so entertaining that you don't care. The time goes by so fast, for the most part. If you haven't watched Casino, watch it. It's a wild ride, and it's this cast is so hot. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't want to ruin everything for the folks.
Cinematography.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We've talked about this.
We've talked about him once or twice or 20
once
times.
Or 3 times, yeah.
Robert Richardson.
Oh, Robert Richardson.
60 projects since the early 80s. Obviously, many of those projects, the majority of those projects being from Scorsese and Tarantino.
Yeah. How many of his films have we... He was probably our most storied cinematographer at this point, considering how many Tarantino films we've seen and how many Scorsese films we've seen. This guy beats all of them. All the other Hoyt van Hoytma and all those other wonderful people.
Greg Fraser,
Greg
which
Fraser.
I finally figured out how to pronounce. Greg Fraser.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about Robert Richardson a lot. The cinematography in this movie, this was their first time working together, right? Him and Scorsese's? This was number one?
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, so this was the first time that Robert Richardson and Scorsese worked together. And I have seen a good handful of Robert Richardson's films, and I'm sure that I loved the cinematography on all of them as well. But Jesus, the cinematography in this movie, like, floored me from the beginning. The fun thing about being a big movie fan, you know, I've seen a lot of films. Now that we've been doing this podcast, you know, and because of my love of learning about the people behind the scenes, probably thanks to The Lord of the Rings, that's probably where it started, I can sit back and while I'm watching this incredible movie for the first time, be like, Jesus Christ, the cinematography is amazing. Like, there are things that I'm picking up on more now that I have watched as many films as we have watched for this program. I notice cinematography a lot more in movies now than I think I ever used to. This one in particular, Jesus Christ, it's gorgeous. This film is gorgeously shot. I cannot comprehend, spoilers, why it didn't get nominated for more Oscars. Because what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And then I went and I looked at the 96 Oscars and I was like, who possibly went up against this? And I was like, oh.
There are a lot.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Really? Her? Richardson does such a great job in this fucking... The cinematography is gorgeous. And the set design and the costumes, gorgeous. This movie is flawlessly made in terms of the actual production that goes into it. It's good, folks.
I love George Miller.
Yeah.
Director of Mad Max.
Yeah.
And I thought Babe was a fun little movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's a fun little movie. But it got nominated for Best Picture that year, and Casino didn't.
I know. And
I understand.
What?
Braveheart won that year.
Yeah.
That was an amazing, huge movie.
Yeah,
for 95.
Fucking Mel Gibson got a Best Director Oscar.
Height of Mel Gibson's fame, 95.
Yeah.
You know, he was our action hero of that decade, and his directorial debut.
Was that his directorial debut?
Now I gotta look
You know what?
it
It
up.
doesn't matter. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit racist. We don't actually have to get what his accolades right because he is.
But it won,
a piece of shit
and
racist.
I understand why it won.
Yeah.
Apollo 13 was also nominated, which I understand. Apollo 13 is a great film.
It's a great film.
Sense and Sensibility,
I mean,
which I know you love.
Yeah, you're sitting over here looking at me, and I'm like, say it. Say what you actually. Just say it. Doesn't belong there.
Tell me.
I'll come across that fucking table. Me and Ang Lee will shove that Oscar right up your ass.
I love Ang Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Sense and Sensibility doesn't belong on the list. The Postman,
I don't.
which I'm pretty sure is the
What?
is the Kevin Costner movie,
Ugh.
right?
I think so. Yeah. I did pull up and took a screen cap of the cinematography Oscar that year of who was nominated.
Yeah.
John Toll won for Braveheart. Braveheart is a beautifully shot film. I'll give you that. Sense and Sensibility was nominated. Michael Coulter. Beautiful film. Absolutely understand that. I have not seen Shanghai Triad, so I can't say. I don't really remember A Little Princess, but Batman Forever? Batman Forever got nominated for cinematography.
Better cinematography
Over this movie?
This movie.
Is all I can say to that.
That's.
Just, huh? And what?
I'll give you Shanghai Triad because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, sure.
Sense and Sensibility, sure.
It's a beautiful film.
It's an Ang Lee film. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's beautiful because Ang Lee's films are beautiful.
Yeah.
Little Princess, don't know what it is.
Yeah, sure.
Batman,
Braveheart makes sense.
Fucking Batman Forever
Fucking
with all
Batman
the
Forever.
shitty neon and
Yeah.
just
Street gangs on fucking rollerblades.
cinematography.
Over this film. This film, which is shot like a painting. It's so fucking beautiful. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know. and
I don't know. I
get
don't
it.
know, and I don't get it.
The Postman, it's an Italian film.
Oh,
that came out actually 2 years earlier, but made it to the Oscars that year.
I mean, had there been 10 nominations, yeah, Casino would have gotten one. But if this movie came out today, I think it would be a bigger hit all around and more beloved. They say that the reason why this movie, not necessarily well received, because it definitely was, but it came out too soon after Goodfellas, and it is too similar to Goodfellas.
Especially Joe Pesci's.
Yeah. And doesn't Goodfellas have
Character.
narration too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
From,
one I've seen parts of it. Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Which Ray Liotta's amazing.
Yeah,
And
I've heard
my
great
favorite
things
Ray Liotta
about
movie. I mean,
Goodfellas. I think it's one of my dad's favorites.
And you and I, I'm sure we'll watch it
Yeah.
for the podcast. And I'd love to know, because there's always been an argument between me and other people. I like Casino more than Goodfellas, and that makes people's brains explode. And I even was telling a coworker today that I liked Casino better than The Departed, and I think his brain exploded. So,
What? Maybe Scorsese makes films for audiences, and how do I put this? Maybe Scorsese's really good at making films for dummies and films for smart people. And we're smart. No, that's mean. I realize that. But I'm just saying, really? The Departed? Really? All those terrible fucking Irish accents and Boston accents? Don't get it. And then it was all just betrayal. And what was the even goddamn point?
so glad Matt Damon didn't have an accent in The Odyssey.
Oh my god, I know, right? But what was the point
bad.
of Vera Farmiga's character at all, other than be a blow-up doll who made stupid fucking choices? You're telling me that is better than Sharon Stone in this fucking movie? I genuinely think people have not seen The Departed in a long time, and it's clouded by some sort of rose-colored nostalgia, because I think that if they sat down and they watched Casino and then they watched The Departed, I would like to say they'd be like, yeah, I think I enjoyed Casino a little bit more. It's brighter, it's more fun, it's happier. It's not happier, but it is kind of happier. It's not a happier story, but like there's something about the glitz and glam of Vegas.
Departed's like can be like a fun, like, oh, is he gonna get caught?
Yeah.
Whereas the Casino can be a little bit of a drag, just because you're just witnessing a terrible
it doesn't
marriage
have a
being
plot.
terrible.
The Casino doesn't necessarily have a plot so much as you're just like, here's what these dumb people did.
That's other thing. The
it's
fact
still
that
a
Casino's
better
based
film.
on a true story.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was not
Of course,
based on a
it's
true story.
dirty cops in Boston. Fucking of course. And I know people are like, yeah, fucking of course it's the mob in Vegas. But I would rather watch the mob in Vegas than watch fucking dirty cops in Boston. Like, it's cotton candy versus a brick to the face. Like, I'd rather have the cotton candy.
Another aspect of this film that I really, really liked, but nobody else did, was the editing.
Oh, the editing's wild.
I love the editing.
The editing is... I wrote down backstory inception, because that's what this movie is. This movie is a backstory inside of a backstory inside of a backstory. And sometimes it jumps around and you're like, wait. Oh, yeah, we're back here again.
Music cues are helpful.
Super helpful.
People, specific
Costumes.
characters, and certain clothes that you can recognize.
The editing in this film is, like, it's fast-paced, and there's some really fun smash cuts, and there's some really good, like, longer cuts that you're like, oh.
The long cuts I really like.
The movement through the casino is so well done.
There's a few editing moments that also are a little rough, like... One of the funniest ones.
Up in any of them, but
one of the funniest ones was just the editing, the timing of De Niro's character being switched with the dummy before the car explodes.
Yeah,
but that's like pre-title.
Yeah,
so
but that's pre-title, and they sat on that dummy for long enough to people to go, "That's a dummy."
I like too that it ended up not really mattering.
Yeah,
because he lived because he hopped out of the car before it exploded.
Well, as it was exploding. Yeah.
Still, the way that they shot the dummy,
that
dummy stayed in that car, died in that car.
Yeah, and we all know
to a crisp in that
we all
car.
saw that dummy take its last breath, and we were all complicit.
You're just like, oh.
No, yeah,
then there's other things, and Scorsese's. It's probably a mixture between him and the editor, but he does it a lot where a scene will be playing, and then there's like this slight transition where the person's body is slightly off, because they moved. So there's obviously a cut in there that just kind of like transitioned into the new cut. Anyway, it happens sometimes in Scorsese films, and it happened a couple times in this, and sometimes it works. Like I think it was when De Niro and Sharon Stone's characters were in a car, and you could see the Vegas lights hitting the windshield.
Yeah.
And you just see her. I was focusing on her at the moment, and I saw her, like, she just transported, like, slightly to the side. Like a very smooth transition, but still you could see her body moving through the transition. But Thelma Schoonmaker, who has edited many films for Scorsese, she has won 3 Oscars. She won for The Departed, Aviator, and Raging Bull. She's been nominated for many, her first being Woodstock from 1971, which was not a Scorsese film. Then she was nominated for Goodfellas, Gangs of New York, Hugo, The Irishman, and Killers of the Flower Moon.
Damn. A while back, you and I were talking about movies, as we do, and you said to me, now that I have gotten to know all the directors and the actors, I'm getting super into the cinematographers. And I was like, you fucking nerd. And then you dragged me along that road with you, and I'm very grateful for that. I can see you next getting into editing.
I think we jokingly said at that time, what's next editing?
Yeah.
Because
like, obviously directors, actors, and composers, we know these people. Like, we are fans of these people. We know their names. Cinematographers now, anytime I was actively telling people about Hoyt van Hoytma before The Odyssey came out. Yeah. I was like, did you know that the guy that does the cinematography, his name is Hoyt van Hoytma? Isn't that a great name? And people were like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, Hoyt van Hoytma! We love him.
you see his name pop up at the credits at the very end of the movie.
We clapped.
Yeah, we did.
We fucking clapped and whooped for Hoyt van Hoytma. We were the only ones in the theater. And then one day we're going to be like, woo! Joe Smith for editing. Motherfuck, every time. Or whomever.
Say Joe Smith.
I said Joe Smith. I just created a quick, basic name.
That's pretty basic.
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes gives Casino a 79% from critics.
It had to have been.
Critics.
It had to have been because it was
so
too close to
out.
Goodfellas. It has to be.
Like, here we go again.
Because if
another
this
mob
movie came out now, like if this was like a big December film, people would have gone ape shit for it.
There aren't a lot of mob movies coming out recently.
No, definitely. Not only that, but just like I'm just saying that I don't think that it hit in a time and a place where it could have been as appreciated as it deserved. The time that this film came out, it's probably the reason why it is,
But the best score on the list was from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But they gave it a 93%.
See?
That's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Letterboxd has it at a 4.2.
That's pretty decent.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That is the second best on the list. Metascore of 73. Because Metascore just hates everything.
Yeah.
Except for the random times that they're like 80. And then IMDb as a 8.2.
Anytime anything is above an 8 on IMDb, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering how
when
many
I see
great
TV
films,
show episodes and they're in the 7 points, I'm like, oh, cool, that's going to be a good episode.
Yeah. But then you come along and you get an episode that's like in the 9s, and you're like, oh yeah, let's do this.
There's
fuck
a
yeah,
90?
let's do this. So for a percentage of
82% on average.
I mean, I get it. I hate to say that I get it, but I get it. I think that, like, you care about different types of stories, right? We all care about different types of stories. You like horror. I like romance. We both like fantasy. We both like mob films. But you like all mob films, and I like selective mob films. And my selective mob films are ones that are usually, like, a little bubblegummy, bright, poppy, fun, outrageous, Vegas. Whereas, like, the Boston Mob, I couldn't give two shits about. Please don't kill me. I just don't like those movies.
Have you...
don't care.
You've seen Road to Perdition, right?
I saw it in theater. And maybe once after it came out on, like, VHS. But I haven't seen it since, I would say, the year after it came out.
All right.
Yeah. And I would want to watch it because
really
I know that it's
film.
I remember Tom Hanks being great in it. I remember it being a film that, like, you're like, oh, wait, Tom Hanks is not the good guy? He's a little morally ambiguous? This is strange.
It's not like he's not necessarily... He's not the antagonist.
No.
But, yeah.
He's a little morally...
His character is not...
corrupt.
As goodwill nature, to good old Tom Hanksy kind of character that you might be used to from pretty much everything he does.
So we listen to a podcast called The Ralph Report, which is Monday through Fridays on Patreon. If you're at all interested, it is a comedy pop culture podcast done like a radio show starring Ralph Garman. We love him. We love the show.
$30 some odd for a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as little as
well
$4 a month.
It's
yeah.
5 days a week.
5 days a week, brand new episodes.
5 episodes every week.
Yeah.
And with the occasional, summer break, winter break.
Whatever, it's fine.
My kid is playing volleyball on another state break.
Yeah.
And it's all fine because you're still getting, for
I
the
married one
majority
of my
of the year,
fans' breaks.
5 episodes every week.
Yeah.
For only $30 some odd a year.
Yeah.
It's
a great
highly
show.
entertaining.
Love it.
As long as you're okay with, more progressive people.
Very goofy ideas. You can listen to free episodes out there on podcast platforms of your choice because he does put out like not weekly, but every month or so he puts out a couple free episodes to try to entice people in. Check out the Ralph Report. We love it. But on Fridays they do a segment called The Video Vault, where they each recommend a movie for us to watch over the weekend, or sometime soon, based on a theme. And not too long ago, I don't know, I think it was for Tom Hanks's birthday. I want to say Eddie Pence picked, he's the co-host, The Road to Perdition. And when Ralph was playing the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, I was remembering beats of the movie. I was like, yeah, I do want to watch this. I mean, Paul Newman and fucking Tom Hanks in a 1920s gangster film. Yes, I would like to watch that very much. So watching fucking Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio chew their way through the worst Boston accents you've ever heard this side of
Matt
anywhere.
Damon has a Boston accent.
Did I say who am I thinking of? Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just
Accents
it's
are
just
hard.
terrible,
What do you want?
right? And I couldn't care less about that gray existence. So I think it's just we all have different stories that we lean towards, and unfortunately, Casino's not the type of movie back in the mid '90s that people liked it. Don't get me wrong; it was well received, but it just wasn't the splash that it deserved to be because it is such a great fucking film.
But I had to look up to remind myself who all was in Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
And who directed it. Sam Mendes.
Oh, yeah.
Who's an amazing director, and I really love him. Do you remember who plays...
The kid?
Yeah.
No.
Tyler Hoechlin from... he plays Superman in Superman and Lois.
Oh!
Superman and Lois. And the...
Yeah, the WB Superman.
The WB Superman.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He got to be in a movie with Tom Hanks and Paul Newman, and he got to be Superman. Good for him.
Good for him.
He's a handsome man.
He is.
I don't give him a thought one way or the other most days, but good for him.
I just can't believe, I remember watching Road to Perdition and seeing that little kid, and now that little kid is Superman.
Yeah, that's nuts.
My brain kind of broke seeing that. Casino was made for $52 million. Not too bad for this kind of movie.
I think I saw somewhere that it's the soundtrack budget was $3 million.
Doesn't surprise me.
No,
because
with the
they
amount
used a lot
of songs. Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know how much the actors were making back then for in that time, especially working for Scorsese, but $52 million still isn't, it seems to fit what is on the screen.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of...
I mean, they were able to create old school
a lot of
Vegas.
Extras.
A lot of extras. I think one of the reasons why they were able to create such a realistic, 60s and 70s Vegas is because in the 90s, so much of that stuff did still exist. There were still casinos that hadn't been updated in a really long time.
Weren't knocked down yet.
Or hadn't been knocked down yet, that still had that 60s sort of look to them. And I think that cut down on the budget. Trying to get all the sets that Scorsese just walked into that already looked perfect, they would have had to make these days. I think a lot of that kind of kept to keeping the budget down, right? Because Vegas still, it's a place trapped in time, and it still looked like that in the 90s when they were filming. That's smart, right?
Did you happen to see anything about filming in an old casino?
Yes, they filmed inside of an old casino in the middle of the night like between midnight and like 4 a.m. All the casino scenes were shot then because they didn't want to shut down the casino in order for the actors to film their scenes. They even put up posters and banners outside saying Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci inside filming a movie. Come check it out, in hopes to get more revenue into their slowly dying and almost to be destroyed hotel. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of which hotel it was. But yeah, no, it filmed in a real life hotel in the middle of the night because that's when they could do it.
I know that the Tangiers is not a real hotel.
No, which is odd because I swear to God, when I saw the Tangier sign, I was like, I remember that being
familiar.
a real. That's a real hotel.
Little
right?
Mandela effect.
A little bit, yeah.
It was the Stardust.
Yes.
And when I saw a video of the Stardust, like its lights turning on, I was just like, I kind of remember that casino, but I actually don't think. I think that's also a Mandela effect because I think it was long gone before I ever visited Vegas.
You know what? Also, the Stardust also stood in for the casino that Jack Nicholson is building in Mars Attacks.
Really?
And its implosion was used in the scene where the Martians destroy.
Really?
They used the actual footage of the implosion of the Stardust
So
as
the hotel,
aliens are destroying it.
The hotel that is essentially being talked about in this movie.
Yes.
You get to see imploded in Mars Attacks.
Yes.
You know what? You heard it here first, folks.
That's the legacy that this man left behind. His casino got exploded in Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, maybe
Wild.
there's something about like the camel and the Tangiers that just stuck in my head in terms of pop culture. But yeah, they did. I mean, they filmed a lot of it in, there were definitely sound stages. That house was a real house. The house that De Niro and Sharon Stone live in the film is a real house that was eventually purchased by Suge Knight, which is interesting if you know your music history. I don't think he owns it anymore. Yeah, and then, they used a lot of, they used a lot of sets in LA, but they also did a lot of filming in Vegas because you kind of can't replicate that look. There is a scene that Caveman brought up to me that I wasn't necessarily paying attention to. How do I put this? I wasn't looking at what he was looking at because there's a transition where they walk into a vault inside of the hotel, inside of the casino, and the vault is a set because they couldn't film in the actual money room of this real casino because nobody can go in there, especially not a bunch of cameras.
I saw the slightest, speaking of the editor, I did see the slightest transition.
Yeah.
It was very, I was looking, I don't know what I was
you were
looking
for it.
I don't know what I was looking for.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful single take that they were doing walking around the casino.
Yeah.
And it went from just being on the casino floor to this room. And it was kind of just like this. You got close to the door, and that's when the transition happened, and the door opened, and now you're inside of a set, and then they reverse and go out, and then you're back on the casino floor, all looking like
one single take.
Entirely take.
Yeah.
And it looked great.
It's very clever.
Yeah, very great take, I thought. So yeah, the movie was made for $52 million.
Yeah, and
you want to know how much it made?
How much did it make?
Domestically, it made 43.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. I get it. It's a 3-hour-long film in 95.
74 million internationally, then like an extra 3.7 plus in Blu-ray sales.
Oh.
That's Blu-ray. It was released in DVD and I think Laserdisc and VHS and all that stuff. So has made over time over $120 million.
My coworker was like, I remember he's like, my family had the casino VHS and it was a double box set, right? It was a 2-box set because 3-hour movie. And he was like, and I remember looking at the cover at all the time thinking, that's not Sharon Stone. That's not what she looks like. And that was what he remembers about having that VHS growing up. It's just, that doesn't look like Sharon Stone.
I think all three actors on the cover kind of just look
A little airbrushed.
There's some alterations being made.
I mean, for God's sakes, they tried their hardest, and by tried their hardest, I mean barely tried at all, to make De Niro and Pesci look younger in the scenes where they had to look younger. You know,
Yeah.
like I get that he's playing a man in his young 40s.
Watch The Irishman, and then you can really see what it's like making De Niro and Joe Pesci look younger.
No, no, never gonna watch that movie. Somebody's like, "Have you seen The Irishman?" I was like, "Absolutely not."
That's a long movie.
Yeah,
Where you feel every minute.
you didn't finish it, right?
No, but I'm going to rewatch it as part of my
Scorsese
Fest.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm not going to join you for that or Killers of a Flower Moon either. I don't want to.
Killers of the Flower Moon is good. It's long, but it's good.
Of course it's long. It's a Scorsese film.
Casino won 4 awards.
Fucking tragedy. The
Total.
fucking tragedy
Total.
that's about to happen.
And it was only nominated for another 11. We've talked about movies who are at least nominated for hundreds. And Scorsese can't even get a dozen.
For one of what I consider his best films.
Yeah.
Look, if you go check out
It was
the
kinda
1996 Oscars, and you're like, why didn't Casino get it? And then you're like, okay, Babe, I don't understand, but all right, Apollo 13, all right, Braveheart. Like, I get it. But I also don't fucking get it. Batman Forever does not deserve to be an Oscar-nominated film. And this movie deserves to be a heavily Oscar-nominated film.
The fact that it can boast that it's a Oscar-nominated film.
That's disgusting.
So can Casino.
And Norbit.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the Academy Awards. We know that. Sharon Stone won a Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actress in a Drama.
Good for her.
I'm so happy that she got something.
That she got something, because she is phenomenal in this.
Italian National Syndicate of Film Journalists gave 2 awards to Casino.
That's from the mob, I'm going to assume.
Best Production Design, which, great.
Yeah.
And Best Male Dubbing from the Italian version of this movie.
Yeah.
Gigi Proietti.
Gigi Peretti. It's me. It's a Gigi Peretti.
And he was the actor who dubbed for Robert De Niro.
Well, that's a chewy line. That's a chewy role, you know. That's a...
Made the Italians proud.
Yeah.
The 2020 awards, which I just recently discovered, which now I kind of dig and kind of want to look into more of what the 2020 awards have given out their awards for.
Anything on the best locations to shoot in LA award show?
That's a great award.
Ago?
No, the people who give awards out for shooting in Los Angeles, I'm glad there's somebody doing that.
I love it.
But the 2020 awards is not the year, but like hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
So,
fucking yeah.
So their award is called the Felix. Mm-hmm. And that's because in The Odd Couple... Felix and Oscar.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you got there. That's why I love you.
Yeah.
But Thelma Schoonmaker, the editor,
Yeah.
won the Felix Award for Best Editing for Casino because the Felix Awards believed that she... Like, it was a missed opportunity where she should have won for Casino for editing instead of...
whatever the fuck did. Oh, you know what the fuck did, don't you?
Apollo 13 won.
Ooh.
Babe is in there again.
Ugh.
Braveheart, of course. And Crimson Tide, which Crimson Tide is a great movie. And Seven's editing.
Why we've talked about this year in the Oscars before. I was like, I know we've talked about Babe being nominated for an Oscar. I know we've talked about these things. And I was like, why? Oh, yeah, because of when we talked about Seven, we probably talked about how it didn't deserve to be nominated for anything.
Casino was nominated for 1 Oscar, like we talked about before, because for Sharon Stone, best...
at least
supporting actress.
Somebody got recognition. But if this movie had come out in 2015, say, this would have been a gangbuster film for Scorsese. It would have gotten all the nominations. It would have made all the money. It would have gotten all of the stuff. I think that a part of it's... I think people don't look at it as favorably because of when it came out and the fact that, like, it just got steamrolled by other films. Which is unfortunate because it's so much better than Braveheart.
I'm sorry, not supporting. She was best lead. I want to get that clear. She was nominated for Best Lead Actress. There were no lead actresses in Braveheart because it's all men.
I mean,
So Sharon Stone didn't have to go up against Braveheart. The other nominees
I do
were
know who she had to go. Well, at least one of them.
Elizabeth Shue for Leaving Las Vegas,
Which was a huge
as we
thing.
were just talking
Yeah.
about. Meryl Streep for The Bridges of Madison County.
Jesus Christ, was a huge fucking thing.
Emma Thompson for Sense and
I
Sensibility.
mean, she's so good in that film.
But the winner was Susan Sarandon.
Dead Man
won an
Walking.
Oscar for
Yeah,
Dead Man Walking.
I remember that. Which I haven't actually ever seen Dead Man Walking, but I know the Eddie Vedder song that plays during it.
Well, on to the cast.
This fucking cast. We were watching this movie the other day, and this cast was causing me to have what I could only describe as a total crisis of my pants. Because I was so fucking horny for this cast, especially the first hour of this film. Everybody is like peak themselves. And like, yeah, Robert De Niro, babe. Sharon Stone, babe. James Woods, we'll talk about him in a minute. But babe, Joe Pesci was doing it for me.
Which is surprising.
It's very surprising because I don't think I've ever once looked at Joe Pesci in my life and been like, yeah, I'd ride that little man. But in that fucking movie, I was like, come at me, little guy. Like, horny.
So much so that you had to text Jesse during the movie.
I absolutely was texting Jessie during the movie, and she found it very funny. Like, midway through the second act, I was like, oh, no. All these people are terrible. I absolutely would not. And then by the last hour, I was like, no, but I would. I would. Absolutely. Jesus Christ. Look at how hot they all are.
Oh my god, ew, David!
Anyways, De Niro.
Yeah.
So
we've
hot.
talked about De Niro
A couple of
enough.
times. Yep.
What would you say is your favorite De Niro role?
Captain Shakespeare from Stardust.
It's funny, too, because that movie's called Stardust, just like the real hotel. I love Captain Shakespeare.
It's not to say that I dislike all of his other roles, but that role is so much fun. And I know it's a Neil Gaiman property, and I'm not happy about it either, folks. But that film will always be a bit of a comfort movie for me. Charlie Cox is so fucking cute. Michelle Pfeiffer is flawless. Claire Danes is flawless. And yeah, De Niro is that gay cross-dressing flouncy sky captain of the world of tomorrow made me so happy. And I always like it when he especially kind of entered an era around Stardust too, where he was doing roles that weren't the gruff, tough, badass mob guy. You know, Dirty Grandpa, shockingly fun. There was a while there where I appreciated that De Niro sort of stepped away from the mob guy, although he didn't a little bit, but he did a little bit. And he did some comedies, and he did some other things, right? Like, he went out there and he made some choices, and he took some fun roles. And good for him. He deserves it, because he is an incredible American actor. He is one of our finest. Hi, Robin. Hi, Robin. Yes.
Pet me now.
Pet me now, says Robin. What about you, honey? What do you think is... Like, what's one of your favorites?
Of my favorite De Niro roles. I mean, we'll talk about Godfather 2 when you see it.
Yeah.
He got an Oscar for it. And he got an Oscar for Raging Bull, which I haven't seen.
I would like to.
And one day we will. So besides the two roles where he got Oscars for, I think my next favorite runner-up would be The Untouchables, when he played Al Capone.
Which I've seen the end of.
Really? You've
Yeah,
never seen the whole thing?
No, I think I came in once after being out, and you were watching it, and I watched like the last
Solid
10
movie.
minutes with you.
One of, like, just great. No,
Of course it is. It's De Niro and the mob. And Kevin Costner's in it. I think I'm always going to hope for De Niro in that.
De Niro's screen, the presence that he brings to that role, his ruthlessness, what you would think Al Pacino would be, or Al Capone. Yeah, or what you think Al Pacino would be.
Did Capone have a great ass?
Which is another fantastic De Niro role in Heat.
Heat is. The fact that we haven't covered Heat, actually, there's no point to cover Heat. It's a 7-star film. It's perfect.
That might be one of my 5-star films right there is Heat.
Yeah, Heat is a 5-star film across the board. It is perfection in every conceivable use of the word. There is not a single thing about that movie I don't like. It's perfect film.
Michael Mann's best film.
And definitely it's one of De Niro's best. It's definitely one of Al Pacino's best.
And Michael Mann did Last Mohicans, and I Fucking love that movie.
But Heat is
No, Heat's solid.
perfect.
Just
Yeah.
perfect movie.
And the fact that we got to watch it on a big screen, and it wasn't like a giant like RPX screen either. It was a old school movie studio screen that was a bit, a smaller, but we still got to see it in a theater with a crowd.
Yeah.
Seeing that movie in the theater was incredible. I'd
never seen it in the theater before.
I hadn't
that.
either.
And
Yeah.
So, yeah, seeing the re-release was great.
Yeah, and seeing it with a crowd was awesome.
People
and,
who knew it, you knew they knew it because everybody's talking to them. Like,
yeah.
everybody. Like,
I mean, it's not like somebody wandered in and was like, yes, I will watch Heat on the big
I mean,
screen. Like,
somebody
look at
could
that.
have.
I'm pretty sure it was sold out. But it was, fucking, what a perfect movie that is.
Sharon Stone is in this movie.
Fucking is she.
And this is my favorite Sharon Stone
This
role.
is the best I've ever seen Sharon Stone ever in my life.
I like her in this more than Basic Instinct.
I don't think I've ever seen Basic Instinct. That was not a movie I was allowed to watch as a child. And so it is not a movie that I've thought about rewatching as an adult. Same with what's that one with Michael Douglas set in Seattle? Disclosure. That's another film that I was like, I feel like I should have seen at some point because I'm a cinephile, but also like because my parents were like, absolutely not when I was a kid. I just never thought about going back and rewatching them.
She was also really good in Quick and the Dead. It's with Gene Hackman and Leonardo DiCaprio.
We watched that randomly one night. I don't think we ever finished it, actually.
We didn't.
No. Yeah, I guess when it comes to Sharon Stone, I think about her less as an actress and more about... Because her prime was when I was, 10-ish.
Yeah.
And she was on my radar because even back then I was super into celebrity pop culture. I've talked about it before, how like we watched Entertainment Tonight and like Extra and Access Hollywood a lot most nights because we didn't want to watch Jeopardy. So we didn't get smart and watch Jeopardy. We got stupid and watched Entertainment Tonight instead. So like that's how I remember Sharon Stone, is more of her celebrity and less of the films that she's done.
Yeah.
Because I never finished The Quick and Dead. I have not seen Basic Instinct. I haven't seen The Last Action Hero.
Too bad.
And then
It's a super cheesy, corny movie, but it's
I didn't see The Mighty. I didn't see Sphere.
Oh, Sphere is great. Sphere, I forgot about
I've seen Ants,
Sphere.
but I don't remember Ants.
Samuel L. Jackson and Dustin Hoffman and Sharon Stone. Yeah, Sphere's great.
So
if you like sci-fi.
Going through
Total
her stuff,
Recall. She's his wife in Total Recall.
I have seen Catwoman.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you should be. We watched it for fun. My good friend Brian and I watched it for fun.
I think I watched half of it.
I loved seeing De Niro's character, who is so smart and he is so calculated and he is so aware of everything going on at all places and all times.
When it comes to Sharon Stone, Ginger.
When it comes to Ginger, he's such a fucking idiot for her.
Such a moron.
He is so fucking blinded by that woman that any last bit of sense he has goes right out the window instantly. Especially how they meet with her like causing a ruckus in the casino and throwing chips, stealing chips and throwing them in the air
and causing mayhem. And
and he was just like, I gotta get that.
Yeah.
Like that's
damn, she's hot.
That's the mother of my children. He looked at that and went, I'm gonna put a baby in her, which is understandable because she was so fucking pretty, but also like, no.
Hey, Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Oh God, I don't.
My favorite little like mobster guy who's always so. He's
just such a good little fucking mobster guy.
I didn't know Joe Pesci as mobster guy.
You knew him from.
Well, I knew him from Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's where I first knew him, and so I had no idea who he was. And then, man, later on when you find out that Joe Pesci, all his little that he does in Home Alone is to keep himself from actually cussing.
Oh, there's nothing like the word fuck coming out of Joe Pesci's mouth.
Or anything.
Any swear word.
Any word.
Yeah.
He's such an entertaining actor. I mean, Goodfellas.
Entertaining how? Funny how?
Funny. How am I funny? Yeah, like, speaking of which, Goodfellas, he's amazing in. He's in Raging Bull, but I haven't seen it. Obviously, he's in The Irishman.
I remember him very clearly in Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, that's the second place. After Home Alone, I saw him in the Lethal Weapon movies, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, just being like the goofy comic
He's
relief.
a goofy comic relief, and so after seeing Home Alone and then 3 Lethal Weapon movies where he's just a goofball the entire time.
Yeah.
That's
your Joe
who
Pesci.
Joe Pesci is to
Yeah.
me. And then I start watching things like Goodfellas and Casino.
My Cousin Vinny.
My Cousin
I've never
Vinny.
seen My Cousin Vinny.
No?
No. I might have to go on the list. I think it's hilarious that Goodfellas and Home Alone came out the same year.
That is pretty funny.
He was in JFK. You
Oh
love
my God, JFK again.
Fucking JFK again.
So in elementary school, I saw Joe Pesci in JFK, but probably forgot that I saw him.
I guess I knew Joe Pesci as a lot of things. I knew him as the comedian. I knew him as the Home Alone guy.
He wasn't, Lethal Weapon 2 came out in 89, so that
Yeah.
was even before Home Alone, Goodfellas.
But you didn't see it in 89.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I didn't see Lethal Weapon 1, 2, and 3 until after Lethal Weapon 1, 2, and 3 were already on video. Like, Lethal Weapon 4 was my first introduction to that franchise, especially theatrically. I saw 4 in theaters because it had Jet Li in it. That was like the main reason why I wanted to go see Lethal Weapon 4. It wasn't for anybody else except for Jet Li. And then the movie ended up being kind of all right. Next,
We have one of my own personal shames.
James Woods.
I have few regrets in this life. I don't have many. I, in fact, don't really even have one. But I have a little bit of a one when it comes to James Woods. When I was in high school and I was young and stupid and in love with an older man, I was watching the fucking Tonight Show with Jay Leno once, and James Woods was the first guest. And he came out and he was charming, and I was like, okay, James Woods, like, whatever. I'm like, fine, whatever. And then the second guest was this young woman. Or maybe she was the first guest and he was the second. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So this woman comes out and James Woods is hitting on her from the get, right? Now, when I look at it and think about it, I'm like, oh man, this man hijacked this woman's interview on the most popular nighttime television show by hitting on her a lot and aggressively like touching her without her consent. And so now I'm like, ew. But at the time I was like, oh. And thus started one of my weirdest celebrity obsession crushes, Mr. James Woods. I know the man, although he recently claims that he is, quote, done with the Republican Party. Too late, honey. A conservative, Trump-supporting, awful human being. Gross, untoward. Probably has been Me Too'd in some way or another.
Okay,
and yet...
So what don't you like about him?
I would let that man destroy my life. And I'm not proud of it, and I don't know why. And he is so fucking hot in this movie, in that all-white denim outfit. Scorsese put James Woods in a porn stash and white jeans, and I flooded our couch. So I don't know. Sometimes the heart wants what it wants, and my bottom heart wants that man, and I don't know why.
Oh my god, ew, David.
But,
Tell you either.
and I've seen a lot of his movies because of that weird obsession crush of mine. Like, Oscar Isaac makes sense. Timothy Oliphant makes sense. When I was younger, Leonardo DiCaprio made sense. James Woods never made sense. And yeah, I harbor little regret over that one, but I also can't control what that man does to my lady garden.
Oh, and one time 2 actual princesses.
2 at the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters.
Sploosh.
The man has a hell of a career. I have seen John Carpenter's Vampires. I do like John Carpenter's Vampires.
John Carpenter's Vampires is actually a really good film.
Of course, he played Hades in
the
Hercules,
perspective of
which
the teen.
like my crush on Hades does have something to do with the James Woods of it all, but also has more to do with Hades. He is my OTP on Disney Dreamlight Valley.
He's
a great Hades.
But also I don't think James Woods wants anybody to ever voice Hades except for him.
No, he'll do
because he did it for the movie,
forever.
He did it for the TV show, he does it for video games, He does it for
I don't know if
everything.
that's the only money he can make these days. Probably not. Allegedly.
I mean, he's in the last 10 years, he's only been in 3 projects. So
no, yeah, he'll do Hades until the day he dies, and I'm okay with that. I'm not proud of it, but I am okay with that. And also, when he was younger, he was really fucking hot. But that's not here nor there. Of course, we love him in Family Guy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
But he plays
Ooh,
such
a piece
like
of
a
candy.
greasy, dirty character in this movie.
He plays a greasy, dirty character in all of his movies.
Nah,
he's almost always
not as Hades.
a sleazebag. I mean, he's almost always a sleazebag.
Yes.
And why
he plays
is
a great sleazebag, probably because he is a sleazebag.
Yeah, allegedly. It can't be denied that James Woods is not a great actor. Like, he's fantastic. He's serious. He's harsh. He's scary at times. He does play a great sleaze. He's in Once Upon a Time in America, which we're going to have to watch, even though it is almost 4 hours long. Annoyingly, it is 3 hours and 49 minutes. Yeah. Just like, by the way, the rest of this cast is also in Once Upon a Time in America, with the exception of Sharon Stone. Salvador was a really great movie. I have seen that. Back in the good old days of Netflix, when you got it on DVD, I got a lot of his older films and watched them. That's why I watched The Virgin Suicides and wished I hadn't. I remember Ghosts of Mississippi being a big thing. I remember Nixon being a big thing. Of course, like I said, John Carpenter's Vampires, absolutely awful. I love it. When it comes to vampire movies, John Carpenter's Vampires and Dracula 2000 are the two films that I'm like, these are fucking awful. I'll watch them every time they're on television. Every time. But just recently, I mean, it was last year. It was almost a year ago, actually, when we went to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the big screen. And I'm sitting there as a 40-year-old pissed off, exhausted feminist watching Casey Jones going, why was I into him? He's such an asshole. And then being like, oh yeah, but like, oh God, I just want to throw him in the shower. And I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of I can fix him when it comes to like guys like that. Maybe it's a little, I don't know, I'm going to turn off my feminism and just be a body. I don't know. People are into weird things. We don't kink shame here at Movie Mingle. I just, you know, the heart wants what it wants. And my heart wants you. And my vagina wants James Woods.
Wow. I'm leaving that in.
So Don Rickles.
Yeah, Don Rickles.
I do appreciate, we don't need to go into all of the comedians that star in this film. I love that Scorsese got a ton of Vegas comedians to be gangsters, killers, politicians. They're all in this film. We've got Don Rickles. We've got Alan King. We've got Kevin Pollak, who is fantastic. L.Q. Jones. Dick Smothers of the Smothers Brothers, for God's sakes. Mother Smother and her boys, the Smothers Brothers. He got these like well-known Vegas, you know, comedy acts to be a part of this film, which made it feel less like typecasting and more right. Like, they all have that Vegas look to them, that Vegas feel to them, that kind of like dusty, dirty, you know, like they're either going to make me laugh or kill me. Don Rickles is one of the funniest comedians to have ever existed.
Good evening, Mr. President. Nice to see you, sir. And your lovely wife, Nancy. It's a big treat for me to fly all the way from California to be here for this kind of money. Nice to see you, Secretary Schultz. What are you doing in town? Anyway, he's sitting there like there's nothing going on. Get busy. Go over to the embassy, have a bucket of beluga. Secretary of State's here. And Billy Graham, nice to see you, sir. This hand is bothering me. Anyway, it's great, though. I make fun of the president. Why not? I make fun of everybody in the world. That's America. Laughing, Charlton Heston. I'm a friend. It's over. I'll tell you this. If you were Moses, I was a Mau Mau fighter pilot. Is this too fast, Ronnie? Anyway, he's sitting there looking at the program going, where does he say he makes fun of me? Where does it say that? Remember when you were governor and you used to walk over to my table? Now you're big and you're getting on my nerves. I'll tell you this. Is he laughing? If you see Marines coming towards me, go into glory, glory, hallelujah, and shoot Webster. Anyway.
Don Rickles was such a good mean comedian. Like, he was so good at tearing people down. There's this great quote where Quentin Tarantino came to visit the set of this movie, and Don Rickles, upon seeing Tarantino's, Don Rickles said, "Quentin, thank God you're here. This guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. Thank God a real director has finally shown up. This cat is out of it. Please save us. This is a disaster. It's a disaster. Save us from this wreckage. You're a talented man. We need your talent." And apparently everybody thought that was hysterical, and Tarantino, quote, wanted to hide under the carpet. Don Rickles,
hilarious.
Seeing Tarantino and immediately calling him an asshole and out on his bullshit in that way, because that's what he did. He was a ball buster, and he was so funny at doing it. And the same way that
which is why he plays Mr. Potato Head.
Yes,
is such a great
character
that movie for him to play.
Just so funny.
Did it really?
Yeah, 95, right?
95. Yeah. Wow, these actors were very busy that year.
Yeah, we all know Don Rickles, so seeing him in this role, especially where he's this stoic, barely says two lines threat of a man just always looming in the background who always had De Niro's back. It was really fun to see that, right? And I'm sure that Don Rickles had the time of his life doing it.
He died in 2017.
Yeah.
But this last May would have been his 100th birthday.
Yeah. Hell of a guy.
It's
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles.
Yeah. He'd call us assholes to our face and we'd pay him for it. And then, of course, this movie also has a ton of, mobster character actors. Most notably Frank Vincent, who plays Frank Marino, whose character is based on Frank Collada. By the way, the Franks. All in one.
But another actor that Scorsese brought from Raging Bull and Goodfellas.
Who went on to acclaim for The Sopranos.
I remember him.
Also gone now.
We've talked about this before. Even though we didn't watch The Sopranos, we knew the actors from The Sopranos just because it was always in the air.
It was in the air.
It was always talked about, especially through Access Hollywood and Entertainment
It was
Tonight.
such a part of the zeitgeist.
It was just always, and late night shows too.
Yeah.
That was another way I got to know a lot of these actors without actually watching these shows or movies. The other actor that I really love in this movie is Kevin Pollak.
Yeah, I knew you were going to talk about Kevin Pollak. You love him. I mean, he's great.
Love Kevin Pollak.
He's done so many fun things.
One of the first movies I remember seeing him in was definitely Willow, even though he was only 2 inches tall.
Willow. Use the one, Willow.
That was without any effects.
I married him.
Believe in the word.
Kevin Pollak's great. One of my favorite things about Kevin Pollak, besides his movies, I used to listen to his podcast. There was this great story of him. He does a great
Christopher Walken
impression. And on his podcast, when he has guests on, he makes his guests do their best Christopher Walken impression. No matter how good or bad it might be, it doesn't matter. Do your best. That's the point of the segment. One of my favorite stories that Kevin Pollak told about Christopher Walken was that when they met in a car garage, Kevin Pollak's car had an auto start, and so it started up, the lights came on, and Christopher Walken looks at the car and is like, "Your car, it's alive. Chase me."
We've said that so many times to each other over the past 15 years.
It's a really funny story, and it's even funnier coming from Kevin Pollak, but I just always remember that, and whenever it's my only Christopher Walken impression I'll ever do.
Can I talk to you about my absolute favorite costuming choice in this film?
Oh, absolutely.
The bolo ties. Every single goddamn bolo tie you see on screen is such a banger of a goddamn bolo tie that I couldn't stand it. I want that quarter bolo tie that stupid pit boss is wearing.
Yeah.
I am feral for that. That is one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen, and I need it. So, if y'all like bolo ties out there, definitely check out the outfits in Casino, because there are some fucking bangers.
The
Everyone.
The
There's a
one
lot.
costume choice that just I was like, is this going overboard? It was the gaming commission guy.
Yeah.
Who was like upset because what, like his
brother-in-law got fired. Yeah,
got
his
fired.
idiot brother-in-law.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
who had been wearing that badass fucking polo tie.
But if you look at the gaming commission guy, De Niro, about
what a
his
well done
brother-in-law.
scene too of these two strong men just going at it. I love that shit.
Throwing their dicks in each other's faces.
Oh, God, it's so hot.
But not only does he have this bolo tie, but he also has this massive belt buckle.
You can't have one without the other.
Sure. But then to finish it all off,
Yeah.
he's wearing a hat that has a rattlesnake head on the front of it.
That is
with its
so
mouth.
fucking Vegas. It's not even funny.
I think you could dress Arthur that way in Red Dead. I'm pretty sure there are bolo ties in Red Dead. I think.
God,
It's been a while since I've played, but
men that I would just let destroy my life.
there are definitely belt buckles and there's definitely snake hats.
Oh, Arthur.
Also, that same scene, right before I noticed the belt buckle, bolo tie, snake hat combo, but the camera was also focusing on De Niro's and his shoes. As
I noticed that too.
and I'm not quite sure what they were conveying. In
I
that.
don't know either, because I too noticed that there's a moment where it
Like, I
lingers on a pair of like these bright
They both have
teal
very
dress
expensive
shoes.
shoes. Yeah,
And De Niro's in this like all teal outfit.
Yeah, and the gaming commission guy with all that other
Yeah,
stuff. Of
it's
course, his
very
boots are like
Western.
snake skin
Yeah.
or alligator skin or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
I think it might have helped set up
Was it a
the juxtaposition of the differences of these men.
was it a dick sizing moment of showing the shoes,
I don't
like
think
his
so.
shoes versus his shoes?
No, I think it was showing how different these two men were, but they were both incredibly powerful and here to fight
And
over something.
I also believe that they both thought they were representing the most power you could have.
Yeah.
In their positions, like.
Yeah, the head of a casino and the state gaming commissioner who then fucks his life up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I really think it was just like, here's the stark difference between these two men is the way that they're dressed.
Wait,
Especially
dressed,
because
but it wasn't like
De
poor
Niro
versus
isn't
rich.
even dressed.
It was
No,
rich versus a different kind of rich.
Exactly. It was power versus a different power. It was
Yeah.
a different style versus a different style, both powerful, both at their height, right? Because that whole scene starts off with De Niro like half naked anyways. He has to make his secretary hold the guy at the door for a few minutes so he can go
so he
put
can
his
put his pants on. Which, why?
Well, I mean,
Just to make his pants less wrinkled?
Yeah.
Like he's sitting down too long?
yeah. A lot of powerful men have done that in the past where they don't want to wrinkle their pants. So
I guess I understand that.
yeah, they don't wear them. But also, like, if you worked in that office, wouldn't you take your pants off and walk around the office?
I mean, if I could be in a situation where I knew nobody would be walking through that door without warning. Yeah, I probably would just be walking around.
And even
probably
if they
naked.
did walk in without warning, you're just like, this is what you get for
dude,
coming into my office unannounced.
Secretary told you to wait.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't wait.
Yeah. De Niro's got some dainty little legs on him,
My
doesn't
sword
he?
is flopping through my
They're
between
like
my thighs.
2 toothpicks with a bead as a knee. He's got some
Let's see, I'm
skinny
cutting
little legs.
All this out.
Don't you dare cut out my rant about De Niro.
Skinny
His
legs? Oh.
Skinny little legs. They're just so skinny and dainty. They're just so small.
Sorry, I just watched Masters of the Universe, so
Yeah.
I've still got sword and thighs and other
Jesus
things
Christ,
in my
the
head.
thighs. Yeah, and then we watched Masters of the Universe directly after watching Casino. And again, pants crisis because of that goddamn thigh. There's so much thigh in that movie.
A lot of thigh.
Yeah, outfits, fantastic. That red hair on Sharon Stone. Ugh. That's all I'll say about that. So earlier I was talking about how much I love the idea that the downfall of these strong men was essentially that first pebble that became the landslide that devastated their lives. An angry Karen, an idiot pit boss, and a pissed off middleman. That's what it was. It was 3 people who felt underappreciated for their part in this whole story.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't underappreciate your employees.
Well, I mean, yes, absolutely. Because you're going to get a middleman that's bitching to his mom and gets caught by a fucking FBI wiretrap. You get a pissy-ass Karen that wants her part of the money. I want my few $1 million. Give it to me, please. You know, I accidentally uncovers an entire mob scheme. And it's an idiot fucking pit boss who isn't paying attention to his easy-ass job. Probably not easy, but he's not paying attention to his job.
He's not fit for that job in the first place, which is why he can't do that job properly.
Yes. It'd be like me being a pit boss. I'd be like, what the fuck? I don't know.
When 3 machines pay out big all at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's just like, wow, that's a coincidence.
That can happen.
Enjoy the winnings.
Yeah, or he doesn't see like a very blatant scam happening at the blackjack tables in front of him. But anyway, so yeah, and it's an idiot, a Karen, and just an upset middle manager that causes this entire empire to crumble.
I love a guy who's just venting to his mom.
He's just pissed off to his mom, who is Scorsese's mom, by the way.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, she's been in like...
She's been in
a
multiple
lot
movies.
of his movies, yeah.
I love that's great. And that kind of realism. That's the fact that she can act in a way that's not like I'm just here trying to act. Mm-hmm. But people who seem authentic, who they can pass as authentic, which doesn't necessarily mean you can be anybody. They're just kind of being
she's authentically an older
herself.
Italian lady.
I think she's authentically herself she's not trying to overact.
No.
She's not being awkward in front of the camera. And then once you get past those two things, I think a person, if just comfortable in front of the camera and just be yourself.
I didn't even know that it was Scorsese's mom until I was doing my research.
That's how great.
Yeah, she was just a great older Italian lady. It's like, why is my son swearing all the time?
When somebody could just
try my fagioli.
Do that.
One of my favorite lines that De Niro says is...
That De Niro says?
And I quote, "Is this guy another dumb fucking white guy? And I think I need that turned into a GIF that I can use on the internet for all those dumb fucking white guys out there."
That was De Niro.
He said it's towards the beginning of the movie. He's talking about, I don't know, one of the whales or maybe one of the guys that he works with. But he says, yeah, is this guy just another dumb fucking white guy? And I was like, yeah. I don't even know, but yeah. There's a lot of great lines. He also says when it comes to Ginger, I can fix her, which, no, you can't.
No.
You can't. Trust me.
Not her.
Not her.
I mean, nobody should ever think that they can fix somebody, but not her.
She gave him an out. He was like, marry me. And she was like, no.
100%.
You don't want to fucking do this. Like, she gave him an out a couple of times.
She's like, that is a mistake.
Yeah. Like, you will regret it.
But he was so blinded by...
He wanted what he wanted. And he wanted her. He was so blinded by... And I know.
And it took multiple bad situations.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, this was just like a hiccup in a normal marriage kind of argument or anything.
It was like, oh, yeah, you're going back to your pimp boyfriend. Oh, you're stealing money from me for your old pimp boyfriend.
I was actually surprised that there wasn't a lot of domestic violence.
I mean, there was still some.
No, but compared to things that we've seen.
That is true.
Like the Smashing Machine.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Or things that happen in The Godfather.
You know, if anything, I feel like Dawn was more of the aggressor than The Rock when it comes to the Smashing Machine. Like, she was the much more abusive one. Not that it excuses his own abuse. No, not at all.
His actions.
But, you know, like in this movie, Ginger is a master manipulator. And you see it on the way she manipulates him, the way she gaslights him.
She's a straight up...
she's such a narcissist.
But she's also... there are multiple times where I'm like, this has got to be a long con.
Yeah, I mean, she was a con woman, absolutely. But she told him, you don't want to marry me.
I know, but then I think once she was...
I think she got blinded by the riches that he promised her, but then never delivered because she ultimately didn't deserve them.
She fell for the lie that he was just going to let her go, and promise that she would be able to. You're 100% guaranteed that you will have $1 million in jewels, and you can access them anytime you want. Like that was a lie from the start.
I don't know,
but that doesn't excuse him.
I don't think that was a lie. I think that he.
Not in the beginning.
No, in the beginning
she kept denying
that in good faith.
I understand
but she became such a fucking monster that
I understand she was like a drug addict.
Yeah.
An alcoholic.
Yeah.
Not fit to
be a mother.
Be a mother.
No.
Those were all absolutely check mark to all that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that gave him the right to then control.
No,
what
to
she
control
wanted.
everything she did, every penny she spent.
Every time she tried to escape,
Yeah.
to get away, to be with somebody else.
But that's just it, though.
Let her go. Here's the jewels that I promised you. Take those. Go off with James Woods. But you are leaving me and our child alone.
Yeah, he was very possessive.
He needed
of her.
to convince her that that was the way to go.
Yeah.
The smart way to go that would benefit both of them and their daughter. And I think things would have been a little less messy.
Yeah.
But it also
well,
didn't help.
I mean, James Woods didn't help the situation at all.
It wouldn't
especially
have changed
with
much.
the kid.
It would have changed his relationship, but it wasn't changed his future because that once again was
it's
the angry Karen,
Yeah.
and the middle management guy,
Yeah.
and so many other
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's. There were so many other things
Yeah.
that went against him, but that was when it comes to his relationship. I think he needed to be less possessive
Yeah.
of her and more caring for for his daughter.
Yeah.
And he was,
But also,
he so much wanted her to stay in his grasp.
yeah. My thought on that, though, is that doesn't excuse his own abuse, because he was absolutely brutal to her. And he did abuse her by making her like dependent on money, right? When you have financial abuse is a form of marital abuse.
Sure, absolutely.
And so that doesn't, she's a monster and he did his best, but also he was a monster and
They were both terrible for each other.
They were terrible for each other.
No matter how you look at it,
Yeah.
they were not meant
No.
to be together from the start.
No, men sometimes get blinded by crazy pussy, dude. Like, I'm not kidding. And we all know those guys that fall for those girls that you're like,
We
what
saw
are
it
you
in his
thinking?
eyes when they met.
He was a fucking lost
Their
cause.
little meet cute was a mess.
A mess.
We talk about all these other meet cutes that are like, oh, what a great story.
Yeah.
Like, if that's your meet cute,
Yeah, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
But sometimes people can't see red flags.
they can't see past that.
And then, like, as the movie progresses, and Sharon Stone, who's constantly like utilizing Joe Pesci as like a confidant, a friend and confidant, even though Pesci was always turning around and immediately ratting her back out to De Niro, like, oh, wait, she came to me and said this, blah blah blah. But when they started their affair, I was horrified, and then about 4 seconds later, I was like, no, I'd get it, like, yeah. I'd watch that. Like, there was something so disgusting but hot about the idea of Sharon Stone and Joe Pesci in a romantic relationship. I don't know why, but I was like, ew, disgusting. How could this happen? Of course, this fucking happened. There was no chemistry, but it was
I
it was about
believe
protection
De Niro
and control.
and Stone.
Yeah.
But not Joe Pesci.
But see, I don't
Sharon
think they
Stone.
were meant to have chemistry. I think it was meant to be. I think they were both trying to like up the step of power they had over each other. And I think she was looking for protection, because the second he was like, I can't protect you, she was like, fuck you, and blah, 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 and went
anytime
off
she
on
came
him.
to him, he ratted her out
Yeah.
to De Niro,
Yeah,
like
every
almost
time.
every time. And it's like, why does she keep going to... Does she not know that that's how...
She doesn't know.
One line that really maybe cements why Sharon Stone's character, Ginger, was so into Sam more than maybe just his money. She says, nobody's ever been so nice to me. That says a lot.
Yeah.
For somebody in their entire life, nobody's been so nice to me.
I mean, when you're a poor girl who's raised in a terrible environment where you get introduced, and you're a pretty girl, and you get introduced to drugs and prostitution, and I mean, like, yeah.
And you're a bit of a con.
And you're a bit of a con woman, and you become a strong, vicious woman to raise through the ranks and save yourself, and then social climb and all these things. Like,
yeah, everybody's treating you a certain way, and that's really not great.
Yeah, and so, yeah, you're going to fall for the first nice guy. I am none of the things that she is. I'm not manipulative much. I'm not a social climber. I'm not a gold digger. Like, all these things, right? Like, our personalities are so different. But I appreciate the strong woman that she is, to have had to have built that shell around her and to be smart enough to survive in a world like that, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't fucking easy. And, you know, not to excuse all the horrible shit she did, or the fact that she was a terrible mom, but like, when you're a young girl raised in that environment, if you don't swim, you die. And she survived. She was a survivor. And then she got comfortable with the one person that was nice to her. I know what it feels like to have one person be nice to you and you're like, they like me and I'm loved for once. You know, like I know that feeling too as a woman. I'm not surprised, but she gave him an out several times and he should have fucking taken it. Like that was such a toxic relationship, which then turned, you know, his friendship with Joe Pesci, super, super toxic. Caused a lot of really awful problems. And yeah, it's interesting to see how the worst in all of these people are the parts of them that other people love. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy, but what a hell of a story, right? It's
a hell of a story. And I don't know how much of it is.
It's actually fairly
accurate.
Factual. I mean, names are changed across the board.
Yeah.
Right. Like, all the names have changed. And then, like, some characters kind of got combined with others. But for the most part, yeah, like, you know.
One part that I hope is real
is
when the Fed's plane ran out of gas and they had to line on a
That's real.
golf course and then
that actually did happen.
Oh, I love that.
That was so funny. Right in front of the commissioning
That's
boards.
amazing that happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like
you can't make up that.
You can't make that shit.
Kind of like random moment.
Absurdity.
Like, of absurdity in this, and this happened randomly in this movie.
This really is such a well-told, like, Scorsese does a hell of a job telling it. And I haven't seen Goodfellas, and I look forward to seeing it so that I can kind of compare and contrast. I think that this movie is something that, I guess, like the 2020 awards acknowledged, that this brilliant masterpiece exists out there and it can stand alone without being related to the movie that came right before it. And it can just exist as an incredibly well told story, and it is. And yeah, it's long, and yeah, it's intense, and it's bloody, and it's funny, and it's vicious, and it's horrifying. You're dropped into the middle of this story, and once you kind of figure out where the timelines are going, you're just on for this incredible ride. And I'm so glad we get to enjoy it. I really thoroughly, like, I knew I wanted to put it on the list because I wanted to see it, because I wanted to know what the hoopla was all about, but I get it. I get why people praise Casino so much.
I'm glad you liked it.
Especially
because, like, I was excited to show you The Departed.
Yeah.
And was hoping you liked it more than you did. And when that didn't work out, I was just like, fuck.
But here's the thing, right?
Okay, well, now I know. We've already made the list, and I know Casino's down there, and I'm like, fuck.
I don't
Is
think
she
I was
gonna like
trepidatious
Casino?
about it at all. I don't think I was worried about it at all. Like, yeah, I think I genuinely was excited because I was excited for the cast. And I was excited to just kind of know what all the hubbub was about. Because, you know, there's a bit of hubbub around this. And so, yeah, I think I was more excited than I might have let on. And I'm glad that I made you sweat a little bit. I think that's great.
So what would you give Casino?
It's a 5-star for me. It's absolutely, like, I had the time of my goddamn life watching that movie the other day. And it, you know, not only because I think that it's a really well done film across the board, and although there are some parts of it that are cringe or maybe don't hold up as well, or, you know, the dummy in the car, like, you know, it doesn't matter. I think it adds to this film and what it is as its whole. And I was just having so much fun laughing with you on the couch and laughing with Jesse and just being in the story, like letting it just hit me in the face with its big swinging dick. And I loved it. So yeah, 5 for me. What about you, honey?
Well, it's odd that I really like this film, but I'm only giving it 4.5. But I think it's that other half that's like what you said, just the...
Yeah, there's some choices. There's some
choices
goofiness.
and the things that are done, like the editing. But that sounds stupid because we all know that I love the editing and wish it had won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
So it's not the editing's fault that I'm
it's perfectly acceptable. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm giving it a 4.5.
You know, I've often said that I like action Tarantino and not so much talky Tarantino. I think when it comes to Scorsese, I think I like goofy Scorsese over trying too hard Scorsese. You know what I mean? And I feel like The Departed and Shutter Island and some of his other like darker films that don't have much hope to them.
The Aviator.
Yeah, like they're movies that are a little bit more like downer and like sullen. I don't enjoy that nearly as much as I enjoy him, bright colors, having fun, being goofy Scorsese. That's the kind of shit I like. Because The Wolf of Wall Street remains just one of my favorite films. It's such a great fucking movie. And this one too, bright, bubbly, kind of, I like bubblegum Scorsese. And I'm okay with that.
So, Maggie.
Yes, honey.
I have 2 questions for you.
Hey, Peter, where did that come from? You know no junk food for breakfast anymore.
Dad brought them. He lets us.
He also lets you go to school without any underwear.
It's called free balling, Mom.
Peter, I'm not kidding. I'm counting to 3. 1, 2,
3.
When did that stop working?
Come on. I brought a box of donuts. It's not a federal offense, but I will take credit for the underwear.
I know that's from Mother's Day. I saw the clip when you accidentally pulled it up on YouTube.
I didn't accidentally pull it up on YouTube. I purposely pulled it up on YouTube.
Yeah, but I accidentally saw it in the
You
history.
accidentally saw it.
Yeah.
But what you didn't know is now I have this clip.
Oh?
Underwear. 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 Underwear.
Yeah.
Underwear.
So.
Oh my God, thank you so much. You
You're
know
welcome.
what? You know what?
Underwear.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To be seen is to be loved. And he sees me and he loves me.
Would the presence of
Timothy
Timothy
Oliphant
Oliphant
and his underwear
in his
underwear
have made Casino a better film?
I mean, no, it wouldn't have made it better. It wouldn't have made it better. I would have been fucking thrilled, and then it would have pushed my fucking horniness level over the top, and then I really would flood at our couch. But it wouldn't have improved the film in any way. Like, I didn't need him to be in it to have the time of my fucking life watching it.
Sure.
So no.
Well, if Timothy Oliphant was in Casino,
I literally picked him out like instantly as soon as I saw this character. I was like, Tim.
which character would you have him play?
He would have been the idiot pit boss in the awesome quarter bolo tie. Like, of course he would have been that, like slightly California stoner, stupid, like cowboy pit
What?
boss.
I thought
What do you mean?
They
man?
all just won
Like,
at the
that's
same time.
Good for them. Like, I think that's cool, don't you? I love a goofy Timothy. I adore Goofy Oliphant. He's so much fun when he gets to be goofy, or play kind of stupid, and he gets that. Or he would have gotten that as that character. So, like, yeah, absolutely put him in there. Like, I wouldn't have wanted him to be like De Niro or Pesci because I don't think he fits those roles at all, right?
Right.
Like, crime lord, sure. Mob boss, maybe not.
Maybe not mob boss, but definitely
like crime lord.
The head of some kind of weird syndicate that is doing some
like a nice
bullshit.
suit and tie. And that has been this week's episode of Movie Mingle on Casino, and we hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed Timothy Oliphant in his
underwear.
It brings me such joy you don't even know. Join us next week when we will be talking about the incredible, one of my absolute all-time favorite Wes Anderson films, The Royal Tenenbaums. Very excited to revisit this movie, even if it doesn't include a lot of Timothy Oliphant in his... Nope.
Underwear.
There it is. As ever, you can find us on Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd at Movie Mingle Pod. You can find us on YouTube at Movie Mingle Podcast, and you can write us any of your thoughts, questions, comments, and worries about Timothy Oliphant and his
underwear.
Thank you, honey. You can write us at movieminglepod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, even if you write us in your
underwear.
Thank you. Until next time. Take care of yourselves in this big wide world. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Remember to always put on your
underwear
before leaving the house, if that is your thing. And until next time, just remember that all things, great and small, can be derailed by someone in there. Nope.
Underwear.
There it is. Just like the end of this podcast was completely derailed by... Nope.
Underwear.
There it is. No go mingle. Underwear.
Underwear.
Are you an effective team?
We are an effective team.
Let them fight.
How did you just do that?
I'm a really good lawyer.
Here on Caladan, we ruled by air power and sea power. On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
Welcome, Mr. Beach. What's that bar? I'm a little confused.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
I don't want to brag, but I will. I was in the Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. What is that?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Toga, 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 toga.